I'm recording. You started without me.
I'm just testing the brushes. I will also start recording. Boop, boop, boop. Start recording, baby. Should I also capture sound?
Yeah, if you want.
Alright. You convinced me.
Yeah, it's that easy.
Alright, we're live, baby.
This is what I draw in response to your prematurity.
No. Go away.
Alright, let's I'm gonna delete my layers. You should delete your layers.
I'll delete my layers. So I'm deleting. I'll make a new one.
Mm-hmm.
How do I make a new one? Here we go.
So Ty.
Right. Yes.
Ty. What's your most vivid memory of President's Day, the day we are currently recording this?
My most happy President's Day.
Oh my god, you have a story?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's because I made an Instagram post. I made an Instagram post at work for President's Day. And the idea was like, on President's Day, there's a lot of like car sales, like Toyotathon and all that. And I made an Instagram post for my work, and the idea, well, like, I always like to experiment with my ideas, and this one, I wanted to do like pictures, like I wanted to like use pictures as like the ground, the base for like my animation, and I feel really bad. It came out kind of crappy. I'll just throw that out at the beginning. But anyway, was I an intern at the time?
An intern where?
At Hornet, an animation studio in New York City.
Whoa.
Or Hello Hornet, as they've rebranded. But yeah, President's Day, I was there for maybe, because it's February, so I was there for like, 7 months at this point. And I was doing an Instagram post for President's Day, and the idea was like, it's George Washington, and he's like a sign twirler for like, those people who twirl signs on the side of the road.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, that rocked.
Yeah, it was cool as like an experiment. The animation was okay. Like, I've definitely done better stuff. But I feel really bad because I've sent you stuff before of like people who use pictures in their animation, and it looks crazy, crazy good. It's like Remembers production. There's like one guy who just made this crazy, crazy good animation with like pictures of people that he warped. It looks so good. Whereas mine looks very puppeted, which is fine, but whatever. Anywho, the pictures I used for the base were like another intern. His name was Mikhail. He's gone on to do much better things than pose for my pictures. He's like a stop motion animator, like our friend Dan in California. I think he worked on the latest Pinocchio film.
Really?
Anywho, I took pictures of him for 2 days, 2 full days, and probably ended up using maybe like 1% of the pictures I took of him, because he was like, I made him wear, like, the clothes you see in that post are all him, all clothes I bought for him to wear, as like, what would a sign twirler wear?
What would a sign twirler wear?
I made him wear like a big puffy black coat and sweatpants, and I made him like pose for like at least a day and a half, thinking I'm gonna have all these pictures, I'm gonna create super dynamic animation, and it turned out just crappy. Not crappy, but like I wish I had high hopes for it that ended up like I needed to simplify it a ton. And Mikhail, if you're listening, I owe you a favor, because he was a good sport about it. The only redeeming part of that little animation was I was happy that I snuck in, I think, like Abraham Lincoln and I think Thomas Jefferson as like a tiny little Easter egg if you look hard enough. Because like he throws his like $sign way up high. And I've forgotten to draw as I talk. It's definitely harder than it looks.
You fool.
But like I hid them in like the window of the post, so there you go, secret insider info. So yeah, my most memorable President's Day story is of me making a President's Day Instagram post for my work and torturing an intern named Mikhail.
That's pretty boss.
Sorry, Mikhail. Yeah.
Just like a real president would.
Yikes.
Do presidents get President's Day off? What are they up to? What are they doing?
I mean, national holidays, I feel like they're busy because they've always got to be, like on Thanksgiving, they got to give a speech, they got to pardon the turkey. They're always busy.
Pardon the turkey.
Speaking of presidents, have you seen the voice changer?
Yes. Oh my
They're
god, I
so
love
funny.
this.
They're so funny. Like the ones of like Trump and Biden like playing like Overwatch.
Yeah.
It's so good.
There's one of Trump and Walt Jr. from Breaking Bad. That's like fucking incredible. But I think my favorite ones is I don't remember his account name. Yeah, are we drawing presidents? What are we?
I don't know.
Yours kind of looks like it could be on the way to Trump.
I need a few warm-up
doodles.
doodles.
Yeah, these are definitely warm-ups. No, there's just one account that I fucking love where it's like this ludicrous like plot line of like Kanye West, Drake, Eminem, and Bob and Larry from like VeggieTales like all trapped in Minecraft together. But the voice thing is so fucking funny. Because it's just like the Eminem one is just like, what are you talking about, Larry? We gotta go. It's just like it has the cadence, but it's like just so so forced, like it can't do like casual conversation.
Yeah.
This is a mistake, Mr. West. We gotta get out of here.
I agree. We need to go. Chill out, Larry.
It's just so fucking stupid.
I mean, we could talk this whole podcast about like AI stuff, but
there's no agenda.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about TikTok the whole time either, but
Yeah.
I saw this one guy who like imitates Eminem like stubbing his toe, finding his girlfriend, cheating on him, but he uses that exact cadence, and it's so funny.
How can you do this to me?
Yeah. Well, the raps are good. The raps are really good. And I love watching like raps and freestyle raps on YouTube. But yeah, he's got it down. Like he spit some bars. He's got Eminem in his sights.
Watch out, Eminem.
Watch out, Eminem. Watch out, Marshall. Have you seen the Kill Shot Eminem diss track for Machine Gun Kelly? That's pretty fire.
I feel like I have, but it's not coming to me.
I'll show you another time.
Yeah, we need someone on call who can just pull stuff up for us. Yeah, when we feel confident enough to do this live.
I want you to look up. Look up. There you go. Ooh, spooky. Alright. I like your shark icon.
Me too. I didn't even plan that.
Did you ever watch Discovery Channel Shark Week?
Ty, you're talking to a New Englander. Show some
Is that a
respect.
yes?
Yes, of course it's a yes.
Okay.
And I love sharks. Sharks are my... Well, I always say they're my favorite animal, but you gotta like kind of take inventory, you know, like as years can pass, and you just have like a default answer. It's like, what's your favorite color? It's like, oh, green. It's like, okay, but that was my answer when I was like, 4. Yeah, you gotta take inventory. But are they still my favorite animal? I think so. I think great white sharks are just like incredible creatures. Oh no. It says my iPad is low.
Battery?
Yeah, but I'm charging it, so we'll see.
Maybe magma just takes up too much memory.
I feel like this app is making me throw away one of the oldest, just like drawing etiquettes, which is do not draw on someone else's shit. This is like,
I don't care.
Yeah.
My friends and I in middle school used to play what we'd call add-on, and we would all have like our own add-on notebook.
Yeah,
and it was just like
an exquisite
you give someone like 10 seconds to add to the drawing, and you pass the book along. And we would do it all the time.
So that's some good, clean Christian fun. Instead of passing a booth, you're passing a sketchbook.
Yes, no booths were passed.
We were so lame.
Yeah, I like the... I haven't drawn like outside of Toon Boom Harmony in years. But I like, even like these default brushes here are pretty nice.
This isn't bad, yeah, by no means.
I don't know what to draw. I've been seeing these caricatures on TikTok, and for a little bit, I thought about trying to be a caricature artist. Like, I like researched like what you do to become one. I like saw that you can like apply to be an apprentice at like Six Flags, and I even did like a RISD like 1-day class of like caricature. I had to like, and I did track in high school, and I had to like tell my coach, hey, I can't make it to practice today because I'm going to RISD to take a caricature class. Never ended up, well, that's not true. I did caricatures for 1 day at Community Day at Tufts at school. And I did caricatures for like 4 hours, but don't think I was very good at it. But
well,
anywho,
we could try some now. I mean, it's...
Oh boy.
I mean, anything
Sure.
is caricature. Oh,
Yeah. Well, like I had trouble getting the likeness, and then not like it was so under pressure. Like the people were in front of me.
Yes,
It was like
that
parents
is a
and their
lot.
kids.
Well, if
And
you're...
they were like, the dad was like, "Come on, honey, we need to go," and the mom was being a good sport and like, let him finish his drawing.
Yeah, like, because if you make all your characters like this simple, and then it's like, oh, he has glasses.
Yeah.
Nailed it. That'll be $500,000.
I mean, it was a little more involved, but
took away my.
Well, actually, it was much more involved. It was like pretty cartoony. But thankfully, I was paid by the school and not the people I was caricaturing. So even if it turned out bad, they were like, whatever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, like the
victimless.
school paid me like, yeah,
victimless crimes.
Yeah, I got to do bad drawings, and they were like, great, thanks. And I didn't get yelled at by the people, so it all worked out.
Yeah, did they emphasize that you're a student?
I mean, that's one of the biggest advice I give people, like, now, as, like, a professional. Don't use your student email. Like, you don't want to seem like a student.
Uh-oh.
So, I don't think
That's why I use my alum email, like a boss.
I think we've talked about it before. I don't think it's, like... I shouldn't say it's the biggest thing I tell people, but it's something that comes to mind.
No, it's good
like,
advice.
Yeah. But I don't think I, like, said from the get-go, like, hey, I'm a student, don't yell at me. I'm still learning. Like I tried to act as like, you know, I belong here, professional as possible.
Absolve yourself.
Yes. But that's all to say. I think I keep getting off topic, but I've been seeing these caricatures on TikTok. It's by this couple in Hawaii, and they're the best. Really creative, really funny caricatures, but I think it's the wife of the couple. She always draws eyes in the same way, and it's like, I'll try and do a new drawing. Let's see.
Same face is an ever-present danger.
Well, it's not the same face, but like they switch it up all the time. But she like
all
does like
artists have a tell.
Yeah, but she does like these teardrops for the eyes, and then she'll like warp them with the face, and it's so funny. And then like it's perfect content for TikTok because you get to see the art being made, you get to see their reaction, and they're always like doubling over laughing. Let's see.
Weird looking.
Yeah, it works. I mean, it works for the caricature when she's doing them, especially people with like more droopy eyes, or just like slanted, like to the outside down. I'm gonna test something. If I switch the canvas, does it switch it for YouTube? No, it doesn't. Okay, good. I love like mirroring the canvas.
I never do that.
I do it all the time. Let's see. I know, I've got a habit when I sketch. Like I'm definitely quantity over quality, because I've gotten into the habit of like I'll draw in my animation program, and whenever I'm like done with this like original, or this like the first like idea of a sketch, if I'm still not interested in it after like 20 seconds, I'll just go to the next frame. Which is maybe not healthy for like following through. Get your pink out of here. I don't know why I keep trying cowboy hats.
I'm trying to fill in your ketchup, man. There's a loose end somewhere.
Why doesn't it let me select? There we go.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll stop doing this.
Oh, I don't care.
Well, the
I'm only having.
Is insane.
Is there a tolerance button?
There's like a slider.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Fill mode. Fill.
Fill me up.
Yeah.
You took my mask. You took my shake.
He burnt my ass.
Nice.
God, so stupid.
What stupid? SpongeBob?
No. No, this can't go in the video. This part gets edited out.
What part? No SpongeBob references?
Slander.
Oh, I know what I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna draw our best friend Chris's his like theater dude. What's his face? Because I just saw him do it the other day.
Best friend.
Best friend. He's my best friend.
Bullshit. What's his favorite color?
Blue.
He told you that?
What's his favorite suit? Tweed.
He told you that? He told you that?
You don't know what Chris and I talk about.
No, I don't. I didn't even know you guys talk.
We don't talk.
As always.
Sorry, Chris. Not anymore.
Yeah, not after today.
I actually don't remember what his dude looks like.
No, this is great. Keep going. Yeah, it looks like Rayman getting turned into a chicken.
Oh, let's talk about Rayman.
Oh, yeah, great. There it is.
Rayman 1. That's all there ever had to be.
No. Okay, well, I
You
think
needn't go any further. The summit has been reached.
It's lonely at the top. No, what I was gonna say is I think we can both agree that Rayman Legends or Origins or whatever the beautiful 2D most recent one is a pretty great, I think, amalgamation in the spirit of one, but like takes it further. I think. I don't. Did you play that one? Like the most recent one, like the one on the Switch they ported. It was on the Wii U, I think. Originally.
In my Steam library, I have Rayman Legends.
Yeah,
so I've played them, and I know what the animation looks like. I get the only thing the biggest downside for me about those new Raymans, Origins and Legends, is I mean, the art's beautiful, animation's beautiful, the background's like, the texture of the entire game is like really pretty. I just don't like how like Rayman's taken on this like very zany, wacky sort of vibe, like almost not quite like Crash Bandicoot level crazy.
I think I know what you mean.
He definitely seems like sillier, and I really liked that more grounded Rayman 1, baby.
Rayman 2. Rayman 2 has that.
I've never played it, and I know you sing its praises all the time, but I haven't experienced it. I did watch a video that I think you sent me of like all the differences there are, and all like the different ports or something, or maybe I just found that. I can't remember.
Rayman. Yeah, Rayman 2 is just like this weirdly like dark game. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Oh, I think when you're that impressionable age as a kid.
Yeah.
And it's just like things that are dark were just I love your Rayman's much better.
Mine's turning into like the beaker.
Yeah, it's like Gonzo and like the celery people from VeggieTales.
Yeah.
No, keep going. I love that. It's like fucking Fry from Futurama. Oh wait, Fry from Futurama actually voiced Rayman.
No way, really?
In the very short-lived animated series.
There's a Rayman animated series?
Like equivalent to like the Donkey Kong Country show, like that weird early CG 3D. Like it is a bizarre thing, but yeah, I'll show it to you later. Like, or anyone watching, like, look up like the Rayman TV show, and it looks like and feels like a fever dream or something, because yeah, I mean, Rayman always felt like it was a dream or something, but
yeah,
it's just, oh, I wasn't sure what the hell you were drawing at first. I was like, is that his finger? I was like,
stop looking at my drawings.
That's the whole point of this.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Stop judging. Stop making me remember. I'm so rusty. I need to warm up for like a few hours. I've literally not drawn for myself in such a long time.
I know.
Or
we've talked about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about.
Wait, I want to talk about Rayman some more.
Yes, fine, infant. Go ahead.
One other thing I wanted to say was I didn't realize Rayman 1 was a launch title for the PlayStation 1.
Really?
Did you know that?
I did not know
I'm pretty sure. I might be mistaken, but I remember, get your butt away from my Rayman, unless he's gonna sniff it. Whoa. He's gonna be like leaning forward so far just to get a whiff. Nice.
I'm sniffing your ass with my best friend. Oh yeah, we gotta draw a glow box.
Oh yeah.
I love glow box. I can confidently say that as the only person to have ever said that.
I don't know, like Glowbox also falls into that like too zany. But I don't know if
not in Rayman 2. In Rayman 2, they're all enslaved.
Alright. I'll play it at some point. Alright, those feet are bad. I'm moving
Wow.
on. Not your feet, my feet. My shoes. Your feet are good.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, you should have him like, yeah, he's like on all fours. He's like
You know
on the tips of his fingers, leaning forward. Yeah. Like, wow. That's the other thing I love. I love Rayman in his eclectically weird, like, French gibberish. Like, that's... I don't like it when they speak English. I like it when they speak in this weird, made-up, like, language.
Mm-hmm.
That's another reason I love, too. You gave him his classic bandana, too. Which I think I like. I do like the hood, but, yeah.
I just liked his side profile in Rayman 1 was, like, peak.
He looks like a fucking goobus. He looks so stupid.
It looks so good. I really like it.
He looks like... Well, I always love what Julia said. It's like, look at this KB Toys looking motherfucker.
That's pretty good. I do love KB Toys. Well, I know I just lean to the more people. Like...
Yeah.
2 other people.
Who
it's just like
KB
a more
Toys.
Disney like proportion, I guess. It's like very, very solid, very like probably like close to the Mickey proportions, whatever. Not a Disney fanatic, but it can't get away from those nice like big head, like bigger head, like tinier body, and big feet. Big feet. Oof.
Why'd you say oof?
I just, like, after not drawing for so long, I remember watching this one video. I'm interrupting myself, but
hey,
this guy's name was
picking up some habits.
Yes. There's a guy named Will Terrell on YouTube, and he was like an awesome, like, not character artist, but like he would just draw people he saw in Walmart. He would do like live people sketching, whatever. And he had an awesome video of like tons of people make videos of like how to come over a creative block. What do you do if you can't think of what to draw? But he had one video where like he broke down 3 different ways of like how creative block happens, and it's like one is like your hand-eye coordination is off. Like your hand isn't doing what your brain wants it to do.
Interesting.
And then the other one is like you need to observe more. Like there's the stuff you're trying to draw isn't in your head and you don't have the information. So there's 2. And what was the third one? I think it's just like your imagination. Like you need to practice just like without reference.
Yeah.
So, like, and he had a solution for each one. It was like, if your hand-eye coordination's off, just practice, like, drawing lines and circles until you can get, like, exactly what you want to do. And then the other one was just, like, study reference, and the other one was just, like, draw without a reference and, practice gestures, whatever. And I feel like I need all 3. I feel like I'm off in all categories. All right, rant over. Continue. Wherever I
What is Mickey
stole
doing?
The spotlight from you.
Is that Mickey? Who is that?
I don't know. It was gonna be Mickey, but then I changed it so we don't get sued.
Good call. God, I love your fucking weird sex pest Rayman. Like, I want him to look like that now.
Let's just keep drawing creepy Rayman. That sounds good.
Like,
let's see.
Yeah, you draw Rayman, but he looks like Ray Romano.
Oof. Okay.
Rayman Romano.
I feel like
that would be weird because Ray Romano. Yeah, he's got like this weird like.
I don't know what he looks like.
Head shape. I'm gonna
I never watched.
From memory, I'm gonna try to like.
I never watched. Well, that's not true. I watched Everyone Loves Raymond when I was really little for a little bit. I remember watching it. Oof. God. Very rusty.
Yeah. Are you angry yet?
That's what we're here for. We're drawing angry, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Get with it.
Yeah, we have some merch at the front.
Ooh.
There's no merch.
Subscribe.
Subscribe to...
Oh boy.
I think what I'm drawing is the essence of Ray Romano.
I couldn't tell you.
Oh no, that's the paint bucket.
What about the other guy, the other star of the show?
Oh, he can be Glowbox.
Oh, we're replacing the cast of Rayman with the cast of Everyone Loves Raymond. I like it.
I don't know why, but I feel like I'm close. Like he's got that doofy smile. I don't know. Just, hey, it's me, Ray Romano.
All I remember is I feel like he's got like a really tall head.
That's what that's why I'm like a big forehead. And he's got this very normal guy haircut.
In my head, I can't.
What the?
I can't. I keep picturing the guy from Friends and not.
I'm looking
not
at
Ray Romano.
I'm looking at your other Rayman that looks like, like it looks like the fucking David Lynch like rabbit baby from Eraserhead.
I never watched Eraserhead.
Yeah, but he looks like he's sniffing so hard. He's like taking it all in.
Yeah, the big whiff. Nice.
The big whiff. That should be your superhero name.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say my biography, or my autobiography, my memoir.
Well, it's like when you whiff a shot too.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that is deep. Look at that. Look at us. We're deep.
Getting deeper.
Ooh, deeper.
Almost.
This is not coming out the way I wanted it to. Alright, time to default to anime babes.
Alright, we've had it too good for too long. We're so sick of winning. Alright, everyone, here's your TNA.
What's TNA?
Tits and ass.
Oh. Alright.
I just hear the loudest clickety clack on the keyboard. Ah! Like just like the sound of a mechanical keyboard getting a
That's all I needed to hear. Off to the races over here. Sorry. Gotta quit drawing for a second.
So
I need to get some reference.
Yeah.
We just were talking right before we started recording, but I've wanted to make it a point to like watch and even like study or analyze anime for a while. Not to like be able to draw their style, but
the techniques, like the brilliant
so many
economic
animation techniques.
Yeah, like Space Adventure Cobra does this awesome thing I love where they'll settle into like the commercial break or like the cliffhanger or some big punctuated moment by drawing like 2 or 3 frames like really slowly, and then like kind of tapering into like a slow-mo thing, and then the final frame they make it a still frame and then they illustrate it in like high detail and they like zoom out, and it's just like this dun 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 like awesome comic book like hack to punctuate like especially when like the budget is so low. Like the Berserk 97 anime gets away with so much, especially compared to that manga being just so freaking detailed. It's utterly insane.
No, it's so clever. There's one video I always go back to, and maybe I've sent it to you before, but there's a video by Jeremy Polgar, who is like a storyboard artist and director, I think he's worked on like Teen Titans Go,
Mhm.
and he worked at Titmouse for a long time. I think he worked on Space Dandy, if I remember right.
Oh, nice.
Like I think he boarded part of an episode for that.
Wow.
But he does, I think, don't quote me on it. But I think I know he's got this video where he calls it like full limited animation, and he like does like a demo and then analyzes a few anime just to show like
Mhm.
the efficient techniques they use like in animation,
Yeah.
and it's so interesting. It's just like a different way of thinking too. Because I know I default to like very naturalistic arcs, and always put it on twos.
Like some sort of freak.
I know. Who am I? Disney?
I
Roy
like
G.
this.
Disney? Roy G. Biv?
Roy G. Biv, Disney himself.
Yep.
I like this weird centurion guy you drew.
Yeah, he's kind of got that Spartan mohawk. Whatever it's called. I can never... I wish I could draw the anime babes.
Were you actually drawing?
Well, I started talking about anime because there's always like, what is it, Toriyama, I think is the guy who does Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And he's got like a very specific style. But I love the style of a show called Ranma 1/2. And I've tried again and again to like get the proportions right of their face.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the proportions, and I can never get it right. My drawing is bad. But like they just draw eyes so small, and rarely when I draw do I like still. I feel like I just omit the beginner steps of like what you do when you first start drawing, and you like do the forms and the circles and the body. But I need to like get back to basics and do that so I can draw these anime babes.
Yes. Oh, yes. The public
baby.
demands it.
Yeah, they've been asking for it.
Mm-hmm. So, Ty, who are you? What do you do?
Oh boy.
Aside from disappoint me.
Disappoint me with my bad anime TNA.
Anime TNA. Look for it in stores.
TNA. It's in my DNA. My name is Ty, and I like anime babes.
No, you don't.
All right, I'm
You're
just saying
selling
that. I don't
yourself
like
horribly.
anime babes. I don't care.
I don't care about that.
My internet persona is obsessed with anime babes. My name is Ty. I'm an animator. Jack and I lived together, went to school together in Boston, which was very fun. But to simplify where I got to now, I applied and was lucky enough to get accepted to an internship at Hornet, which is a animation studio in Manhattan that makes commercials, and not super boring commercials, not like explainer videos, or a lot of Boston is very like science and health oriented, so a lot of the animation there is like very limited. Hornet makes, they're pretty good at making very interesting and dynamic and like nicely designed commercials. So I'm an animator. I've been working there for almost 4 years, which is crazy. Yeah, in June it'll be 4 years. And yeah, I went from living with Jack and going to school at MassArt, Massachusetts College of Art and Design, and then right after Jack and I graduated, within a month I was in New York City. And I've been working there ever since, but now I moved out of the city, been working remote, and now we're about to do hybrid. So I live in Providence now, and I'm about to start commuting back to work and like staying overnight for a few days a week to work there, which we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I've been working at Hornet for 4 years, and don't have anything but awesome things to say. Like, it's been really great. I could blab on, but the like top line thing I'll say is like what I tell people the most, that I didn't like when I think animation studio. Usually, I only think of like, you know, places that make TV shows, whatever, like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, whatever. But I never really considered commercial studios until like the last 2 years of college. I had no idea. They don't tell us about it. But the cool thing about Hornet is that they've got all these different directors. So every commercial, you only work on it for 6 weeks or less, maybe sometimes a little more. But you're always doing different styles, different animation styles, different characters, and it's just always refreshing rather than working on SpongeBob, you know, on a contract 6 months out of the year, drawing, you know, board revisions or whatever. Not that that's not like an awesome job to have, but I've come to really love just the, you know, it feels like you're constantly being refreshed with working with a different team, different director. And I just started like not just started, but I've been being lead animator for projects, and, you know, not managing people, but like getting a little bit more power of like how we approach a project and how much time do we delineate to rough animation to cleanup, and like how do we do cleanup with this project.
What's cleanup?
Cleanup, for the uninitiated, is, you know, taking like a rough drawing, like my little attempt at an anime proportion here that honestly looks more like old Disney Three Pigs or something. But basically, at least in our studio, we go in after we've drawn with like normal brushes, like Jack and I are doing here, and we go in with like a vector line, and like pretty much retrace the drawings.
Why wouldn't you just do it all in vector?
Well, the brushes are vector, or you can say like this is bitmap, I guess. Vector is what the cleanup is. But basically, the pencil lines let you change the line thickness. You can add texture to the lines. You can rescale up the project. So, you know, if we need to export a commercial in 4K, the pencil lines let you do that. And it just keeps things more consistent. Because we usually do like a consistent line thickness. It just makes it easier to be consistent. Oh boy, I did not scroll to what you've done to my Trump head. Oh boy. Alright. But anywho, that's Hornet in a nutshell. Commercial studio, bunch of different directors. And I really like it. They give you a lot of freedom to animate how you want to animate, as long as it, you know, gets the job done. And that's me.
I'm drawing what you look like.
That's me? Ooh.
Yeah, you always look like this.
I'm gonna draw Jack. I always draw Jack, and I feel like it doesn't look like you, but we're gonna try.
Well, you draw a specific version of me. I've had several different looks, and I think each one has a different
I feel like I draw the version of you where we first met in like Flip's class, where you had like half your head, the sides of your head shaved down.
Yeah.
And like you had curlies on top.
Well, to draw you, I always draw a light bulb.
Light bulb. That's a pretty good head shape. I remember I took a painting class at Tufts, and we like one of the assignments was a self-portrait, and I made it a point to try as hard as I possibly could to like get my likeness right. And
oh, is
it's
that
very
the
rare.
Like, ballpoint pen drawing?
No, I don't know if I have a picture of this. I'll find it later for you, but it's an oil painting.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a painting class. But I like nailed my likeness. Like, I rarely these days am I really proud of like a piece of art I've done. But I was really proud. Like I just stared at my face. And something I've praised you about before is like you're really good at like identifying.
Thanks, man.
And haven't even finished my compliment yet.
Well, all I need is you're really good, and it makes up for all the neglect from childhood. Yeah. It's just it soon's over. Anyway, thank you. Continue, please.
Head shapes. You've talked about it. I know you like comparing them, and you're just very good at like cutting to the core of what someone's head looks like. And it really does give you like a very quick impression of like what they look like. But like I just stared at my face, and I remember this was after like a track meet, and it was really late, and I like people were partying, and I just felt sad for myself because I was just like looking at my head, but I was so happy. I was so happy because I really did a good job.
Yeah, I think I just got you down.
that is pretty good. But you definitely got like how my hair like goes in the middle.
Yeah.
I think the only thing you missed because you simplified it is like
yes,
my hair kind of pops out to the sides.
Yeah, you look like that one character from Tron that I sent to the group chat.
Oh yeah.
I was like, whoa, Ty's in this? Yeah. Oh hey, there it is. I got it. I think.
There you go. Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah, you look like
those
Bert and Ernie Muppet.
Yeah.
Oh, you're drawing me like an Alex Toth drawing or something. Yeah.
Yeah, very.
Look out, evildoers!
I wanted it to be like Superman with like a mullet or whatever.
Oh, he did have one, short-lived.
I know. Yeah, I forget. We've talked about this before, but I rarely add like texture to my drawings or like curls or hair. So when it comes to like drawing your big poof of afro, I think you got a haircut recently though.
Yeah, it's my skull, and then it's essentially the Superman haircut. You know what I fucking hate? I'm so mad.
What do you hate? Tell me.
Okay, when you met me, or around that time in college, I had the haircut that was like the back and the sides pretty much shaved down, and like the top was like a much bigger like floof forward, and I have naturally curly hair, and then that became known as the fuckboy haircut, and now I'm just angry.
Really?
Yeah, like it's like all these little like fucking shits on TikTok and stuff, like it's just like that's the look, like, you know, like they got that haircut, like usually with a fade, they have like, you know, a white hoodie on, like, you know, when you see it, like they're usually like baby faced. So I guess I can make up for that with having, you know, some facial hair, but it was like I was like right at the nexus point. Not that I like, you know, coined it or whatever. Your thighs. I was originally gonna make you a Muppet, but that's so much better. But yeah, anyway.
Thunder thighs. Thunder tie.
Thunder tie, thunder thighs.
Yep.
I'll give you your little arm thing.
Yes, that is the thing I draw with that I have on my hand right now. Yes, I'm also known as Sex Machine.
Oh wait.
For those who follow me on Instagram, the origin story behind my profile picture was from our best friend, Kate Costello.
How many best friends do we have?
Every person I mention on this podcast.
You are my best friend. Yeah.
For the sake of, I don't know.
Tension.
Companionship.
For the sake of sexual tension.
Ooh, my leg hair does look like that. That's good.
This is a podcast about being brutally honest, and I feel like you're holding out.
Yeah. Anywho, Kate drew that picture that's on my Instagram, that blue sketch of my head, and I think you added, Jack, responds to Sex Machine. Oh, it was like a lost pet poster. It was like, have you seen this man? And
oh my
it was
God.
like,
Do you remember Marcus's, one of our old roommates, his utterly unhinged and hilarious Tinder
Yes,
bio?
the dolphin something.
It's I need to go to my fucking mind palace. Like,
it was arguing about dolphins.
No. What it was specifically was, if I'm remembering this right, is I specifically look for tuna cans without the safe catch sticker in hopes that I can chop into a nice slice of dolphin meat.
Yeah. Wow.
And like, it's just fucking insane.
Where do you pull that up?
I think he honestly, I want to give him the credit that he made that up.
I was gonna say, do you think he did it?
Oh no! Don't make me.
Uh-oh. No good answers here. Lose. I really liked seeing Marcus at your party, Halloween party.
Yeah.
Very cool guy.
Yeah, he got me a snake plant.
Oh.
Oh my
do you
God.
remember
this drawing of you? I love this drawing of you so much.
I'll make it my new Instagram.
Oh no!
Profile picture.
Pressure.
Only the thighs though. But do you remember my joke Tinder profile with me with the victory Warzone victory?
Yes. Oh no, we're alienating our viewers.
Okay, well, I can explain it very quickly. I cut my own hair for a while, and I gave myself a buzz cut. So right off the bat, you're looking at me with as close to cue ball, did not look good. My hair was already partially receding at that point, and it was very just didn't look great. And I was not trying to make a good profile, but I love this picture of me because I looked so bad. I was just bug-eyed, and I think the original reason why I took that picture was because I sent it to our group chat because we were all playing Warzone, and I was so proud that I was the first one. And then I put that as my main Tinder picture, and it's just me taking the worst selfie in front of the TV. And it's because I got first place in Call of Duty Warzone.
Wait,
I love that. If I download Tinder right now, it's probably still the same picture. I don't think I ever changed it.
How do I get rid of what I've lassoed? I don't know how to do that.
I think you can just do Control D, deselect.
I'm on my iPad.
Just select somewhere else, maybe. Or edit.
I don't know. I think
deselect. If you have the menu at the top, I think you can do edit, deselect.
You're right. Oh,
look at me. Look who knows Photoshop stuff like me.
King
Because I always use Photoshop. Alright, you know what? We're drawing quick now. Rapid fire doodles. Oh yeah, the proto-men. I'm gonna draw what I think the proto-men are. Because I've never...
It just sounds like a fucking fetus crawling out of the ocean.
No.
The proto-man.
Prometheus. Let's see. I don't know where I'm going with this doodle.
Is it a dick or a balls? Vote now.
Looks like a big... Looks like a big skull. Another anime I really like the style of is Soul Eater. That's a good one. I mean, the anime is a little weird, but the designs I really, really like. And this reminds me of Death in Soul Eater.
Did you ever play Soul Reaver?
I played Soul Calibur.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but Soul Reaver.
What is Soul Reaver?
Soul Reaver is this fucking sick franchise known as Legacy of Kain. It was for...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I played Legacy of Kain on PlayStation 1, I think.
Yeah, no, it's a game that so few people know, but the story is Shakespearean, like just insane. But yeah, it's like this super, like, just dark gothic vampire. Yeah, like just it's a cool game, really cool game. I love the main character. Well, actually not Kane, but Raziel. He had this super cool look because he was like he was a vampire in life, but then when he's killed, he becomes like this weird husk thing. I mean, this just sounds so like like every teenager's first like OC or whatever. But no, he had this like super cool look where he was essentially like a skeleton. But yeah, he had the top part of his face. I'm just gonna like draw him. Somewhere up here, like loosely. I just went up here.
Oh, we have so much space.
Yeah. It will build a beautiful tapestry.
I don't remember much of Legacy of Kain. I just remember because I think I played it at a neighbor's house and I didn't have the game myself.
Yeah, it's a precious
I barely remember
childhood
it.
experience.
Yes. Well, my neighbor was old, and he was like, I think I went over because he was giving me his old Sin City comic books and his old Nerf guns, and I was like, oh, what's this? And he told me it's Legacy of Kain.
I love how this started with, how old were you?
No.
What?
Well,
No,
I'm old.
How old were you at the time that he was
Oh,
giving you Sin City comics?
Like 15.
Well, yeah, okay.
It was, yeah, I think I was okay. Of age. Wasn't scarred.
He had like that
Ooh.
tiger beat hair, like that. Okay, but he had this like bandana on, but like underneath the bandana, it was just the top part of like the skull.
Oh.
And like what was underneath, it was just this like black void where like his bottom half would be, and that's what he would pull his like scarf down to suck up people's souls after like he killed them. He was like a soul vampire. And he was like, his body was like insanely skinny and malnourished because he was just like a husk. So yeah, it was
Like Dark Souls.
Yeah, like really, it was quite the look.
Do you know what other game has characters called husks?
Well, he wasn't called a husk, but I don't know.
Kingdom Hearts 2, baby.
Oh, is it upon us?
No, I'll refrain.
No, I will walk away.
Yeah, I still like that picture.
No,
you
we're
made of
talking.
me.
We are talking about Kingdom Hearts. We're doing it here. It's all coming out.
I don't know.
All right. Preface. I give very little of a shit about Kingdom Hearts. Ty here is the most interesting and based gamer I've ever seen when it comes to Kingdom Hearts.
I've tried to get better, admittedly. Like I've tried to be a better fan.
Okay, but the incredible thing
stays the same.
No, the incredible thing is for like a year,
right.
You are building anticipation, waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3. Didn't you wait in line at night or something, or in the morning?
No, I was working on my thesis.
Oh, okay.
And like I was about to wait, like to go pick it up, like the day of, with Broderick. We were walking back from school, and they closed. It was too late, so I had to wait like an extra day or whatever. I would have waited though.
Okay, but anyway, you get your hands.
Okay. Yeah.
You get your hands on it. You come home. You boot it up.
Yeah.
I'm telling the story.
I won't interrupt, but I'll say, before you say anything else,
Yeah.
Jack, you were like breathing down my back to make fun of me as I'm
true.
playing this game.
I'm
on the couch right behind me.
I am going.
You were loading up, getting ready to like bash whatever popped up on the screen.
I am going full father mode, blue collar Italian father mode, because this was how, my father who loved me, as I extend that love, an iota of it to you, possibly. Sitting down, by the campfire. It's a primal human event. We sit down for the entertainment, for the stories, and you boot up this game, and it's this, like Kingdom Hearts, this revered, like insane, convoluted, like anime-ass, like giant lore, and you start playing it, and you immediately skip the cutscenes to get right to the action, and I'm like, what?
Did
like,
I don't think so.
No,
or
you
maybe
did.
I did because
Yeah. Every time I saw you play, you skipped all the cutscenes. You were like, "This is boring."
I did.
Yeah, because I was
That's
like,
right.
because no, that made me respect you immensely. Because I'm like, every Kingdom Hearts fan just gushes about the story, but you're like, I'm only in it for the gameplay. I only care about. Which I'm like, that is, I lost it. That's so fucking funny to me, because I think I brought it up at the time. I was like, why don't you just play like Dark Souls or something, where it's like it's just gameplay, and it's just like, yeah, there is story, but it's like it trims all the fat, and you're just like, no. Like, I want Robin Williams. I want the genie. I want. I was like,
but
I don't blame you, but I was like, that is just so funny to me that you play Kingdom Hearts, and like you just blow through. Like, you're like, oh no, all killer, no filler. Like, just. Yeah.
I did do that. You're ringing the bells, and I think I did it because Kingdom Hearts 3's story. And I'm going to be the first one to say, as big of a fan I am, this is the whole point of this, I'm getting better now, but I still don't know the story well at all.
That's so funny to me.
But, well, Kingdom Hearts 3 was like every cutscene was just like the most, like, you had to have known the other ones, because it was like wrapping up all the loose ends of all the other games. So I just didn't bother. Like, I wanted the nostalgia. I wanted to see how the combat was, and that's, I'll gush about Kingdom Hearts 1 in a second, and it's obviously not, it doesn't hold up in a lot of ways, but it's still one of my favorite games of all time.
The nostalgia, yeah.
It's the nostalgia for sure, and I think that game just nailed, like, the vibe. If there were a vibe check for nostalgic old games, like, it definitely succeeds. And we were just talking about before, like, just like camera angles and stuff. Like, that game, more than any other game I've played, like, it just sets the camera so low to the ground. It just makes you're so grounded, and the character just feels so significant, I guess. Like, in other games, like, the camera is just so far back, and you just feel like you're like a.
That is
you feel more like a video game character.
Because I think about, like, Metal Gear 5, a game that is just unfinished, like, hold the criticism, everyone, but has probably one of the tightest and best, like, 3D, like, engines I've ever seen, of, like, playing as the character, like, how you feel, how tactically, like, tactile, like, like, when you run, the ground shakes in a certain way, and, like, you go to, like, dive and slide, and it's just... I do relate to what you're saying. Like, that kind of immersion. Same with, like, Metroid Prime Remastered. It's like, it's incredible just how vivid and alive the world feels in first person. But then, like, when you go into the morph ball in third person, it's a different experience, but, like, you're there. It's like a physical thing. But yeah, I mean, that's just me rambling. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just like, as you're doing combat, like fighting enemies, it's just the camera angle naturally, like, gets in the most dramatic angles. And that's not to say, like, because the camera is so tight to the character, like, it causes a lot of issues of, like, going to walls and stuff, but I thought it just, like, naturally made the game that much more, like, the progression of, as you, like, gain abilities, and, like, you're fighting what starts as these little puny ant shadows to, like, giant shadow giants monstrosities, like, and all the while, like, you've got this really tight-end camera. It just feels like you're a little kid gaining crazy natural powers. But hard to say, take that in without any reference. But I guess the vibe check is like, imagine, and we were talking about this earlier, kids not knowing, what were we talking about? Kids not knowing certain things.
The thrill of
days.
the hunt. Okay. Yes, what it was
okay.
We were quoting, I was quoting Never Let Me Down Again by Depeche Mode. And you had brought up that you had not heard that, which was the original. You brought up that you heard the cover by Smashing Pumpkins, and you told me what album it was off of. And I appreciated that, but what I kind of found funny was just like, if you told me that, like, 12 years ago, or something like that, like when I was like, a teenager, like, roaming around with my friends, like to like in your ear, like record shop, wherever, time capsule, wherever, like I would have really appreciated that, like my father's generation of like the hunt, like you told me the album it's off of, because today I could just look up the song on YouTube, Spotify, whatever, and no one remembers what album something's off of it. Like they'll see the art, but it's not like you had this intimate front and center, like, you studied the album, like you put the record on. And I know records have come back in a way, but the hunt is gone. Like what my father put it is like, when he used to collect boxing books and rare finds and stuff like that, is like you would go to a yard sale, like you would drive around all day wherever, you would find like just people selling, they didn't know what they had, and that, like, whether it was they didn't know what they had, like actually made a lot of money, like of great financial value, or to you personal value, like, and that was the thrill of the chase. Like, I guess eBay was like kind of a first start into that starting to decline in terms of like actually hunting for things to like to shop for or whatever. But like now with like Amazon, Spotify, being able to digitally download anything, incredible convenience, but yeah, the thrill is gone. Like like a lot of...
Isn't that a Steely Dan album?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt the flow.
No, that was apt. That was very apt.
But now we know, because we can look it up.
Is it a Steely Dan album? Yeah.
I think you can't buy a thrill.
Yeah.
And that's very apt as well. Like, you can't buy the thrill of the chase anymore. You can only buy the end of the chase.
He's the king of the world as far as I know. That might be my favorite Steely Dan. That's another thing that I... Okay, wait. This is interesting. Ethan made this observation that it's really cracked how I... Yeah. Ethan, my housemate, good friend, collaborator. Collaborator sounds like some sort of anarchist thing. No, just creative collaborator. We worked on a lot of stuff together. He pointed out the reason that he and I have very similar sensibilities and get along so well is because we are part of this kind of subgenre of millennials where our parents were boomers, whereas a lot of other parents from people around our age group were like Gen Xers or, whatever was that sweet spot in between, Could it be Gen Y? No. Yes?
I think we're millennials.
Yeah.
Right? I don't keep track of those.
Right.
I think.
But are your parents?
I think my mom is Gen Y.
Your mom? Right. Okay. Sorry. So not Gen X. Gen Y.
I think. No.
Yeah. My dad he's my boomer dad, and Ethan's parents were boomers. And because that's what's interesting is like you can zoom out the experience to like, okay, like, oh, you had the New England experience. Zoom out a little more. Or zoom in, I guess, in this case. Oh, you had the blue-collar New England experience. Oh, you had the blue-collar immigrant parent New England experience. Oh, you had the blue-collar New England immigrant boomer experience. You know, like you can just get a little more specific. But it's true. It's oh my god. Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, and it's like obviously that's not like a tell of who I'm gonna get along with, but I have noticed it is like a way to expedite friendship in a way of like, or at least relatability to certain things. Like you and I are great friends and we get along very much, not just because of like certain things from childhood and where we grew up close by, but I mean mostly maybe just because of the field we're in, and how we have a lot of talks about that. But yeah, it's just very interesting how I can meet someone in a party or for a job or whatever, and you can quickly kind of, you know, suss it out, like if like where they come from, like and I know it sounds weird, but like, and it's not like 100% accurate, but like like how much dark humor or sarcasm is a part of their, you know, palette,
and not like be repelled by.
Yeah, like, or just like what's in their vocabulary. Yeah, like how do they carry themselves, their work ethic. I mean, these are all things that of course can extend to like fucking whoever across any psychological board and in any generation. But yeah, it's just something I think about.
Yeah, I think.
Why did I bring that up?
Dang it, sorry. I keep filling in, for people not watching us, I keep accidentally filling in the whole screen with the paint bucket.
What do you mean people not watching us?
Oh yeah, you need to watch us. If you're, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you more than, maybe I'm just the opposite. Maybe I'm the one who's not the average, but I feel like you more than most people really, well, you analyze a lot of things. I feel like you're very observant, but I feel like you really like the heritage, you like the history, you like the, you know, the, like the core of people, like what makes them.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I mean, I do care.
Sit and spin.
I mean, I just like I know you're gonna laugh because this was when I got this for a Christmas present. You were just dumbfounded that I never went through with it. Right. I got like the ancestry test, and I still have it on my shelf right next to me.
Yeah, you're just staring at it.
But I'm never gonna do it. I'm not scared. I just don't want to know, I guess.
But okay,
like,
so why do you keep it around?
Because I like, if we ever came on a podcast, I could rub it in your face one more time.
Yeah.
But anywho, relatability to people living in the same area. Like, I had no idea that, like, we didn't know that we grew up, you know, within a half an hour of each other, which is safe to assume because MassArt is a lot of local people. But, like, I don't think it was until after we moved in together that I knew where you lived, where you grew up. And it's funny now, not to dox myself, but I live very close. Like, I would jog where I live now.
We're not revealing where.
No, but
I will.
Like, I ran by your childhood home and I had no idea.
That's right.
And now I run by it all the time. I think of you.
Wow. You should just squat there.
No, there's people there. Well, actually, I don't know.
Wait, what do you mean there's people there?
I don't know. No,
you saw people?
What?
You saw people in my old house? In my old house?
I misremembered. The neighbor... People love this story. People are gonna think this is most riveting. I went into the neighbor of your old house because someone was like, had some tools and was like fixing a doorknob. And I asked them like, hey, like who lives there? Because I was curious, like who lives in your new home.
And you had forgotten to take your blinking medication that day, and your eyes were giant, and you were perspiring.
Tell me who lives there. I said something hopefully not as creepy, but the guy was so nice, and I was like, hey, no, I remember what I asked. I asked like, hey, is this the house that has like the extra structure in the back? Because my friend used to live here, and your old home had like this extra like mini house because it was for like railway workers.
Yes. Correct.
Because the bike path, not people are gonna connect the dots to figure out where this is, but
well, I'm not there.
I dare you to.
Yeah. If you send me a picture in front of my house, I will
Jack's childhood home
cry on pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Whoever's closest, excuse me while I eat a Pringle.
Yeah.
Whoever's
Yeah,
closest,
or yeah, I'll accept the Google Earth thing. Yeah.
Yeah, what's it called? GeoGuessr.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna add Jack's house to the GeoGuessr.
Yeah, if you can GeoGuess where I live, I will post a nude photo of Ty.
What?
Yeah.
Which one?
Now we both have something to lose.
I hold Ancestry kit over my head. You hold nude pictures.
Yeah.
Over my head. I see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, the neighbor next door said like, "Oh yeah, that's the house right next door," and then he brought me into his basement, which
what?
which is probably a bad idea to go into his basement, but he let me in because he lured me in saying, "Oh yeah, I have this railway thing in my basement. You want to check it out?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Railway thing in my basement, God.
But he did. He had this it looked like a well, but I think it was like.
Why'd you go to Buffalo Bill's house? Like Silence of the Lambs.
He was like, he looked like Pakistani or Indian. Very, very nice. Not like the picturesque Buffalo Bill type. He was just a very handy man fixing his doorknob.
I wonder if
And then he told me to come into the basement. But anywho, I think he saw the sparkle in my eye of the history of this railway turned bike path, and he was like, "You need to see this piece of history in my basement." And that's
Zip. A piece
there was
of history.
no zipping. There was no zipping in the basement that day.
But there was a fucking railway spike dropped out of his fucking bed.
There was more than one railing that day. Yeah. Sure. That's the last time I am giving you an insider scoop about your childhood home. This was all for you, Jack.
This was. I appreciate it.
I sent him a video and everything. Here's your old house. We called it the Cube. Here's the Cube.
Hey, don't describe the shape. Oh no.
Uh-oh. I'm not gonna dox people by giving their address.
What do you mean by people? It's me!
Well, this is more than one
Victimless
person.
crimes! Victimless crimes!
You weren't the only person who lived in the Cube.
Yeah, you're right. I lived there with my mommy and my daddy and my...
Alright. I'm not gonna dox the Cube. Also, I have not been drawing. I feel like I'm not even thinking about what I'm drawing. So, sorry everyone for my crappy...
No, I think this
drawings.
is working really well, though, this software and having the zoom-in thing. Because, it's it's we pick up each other's slack, and it's a hangout with a visual accompaniment. It's like a charcuterie board.
Whoa, we're fancy.
No, we're not.
I need some cheese, baby.
What is this Frozen? What am I looking at?
What? Where are you?
I'm looking at your weird lady with the hair over her face or something.
Oh, I was trying to, I don't know what I started with, but then I made it into, the mermaid at the front of the boat.
Oh. Gotcha.
This is like a boat.
Is she a conductor?
Yeah. She's yanking on the fucker thing. The horn. Honk honk. You know when you go on the highway? Pause. Get out of here.
Cook. Let him cook. that might be my favorite of the new slangs. Have you heard that one?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Do you know? Speaking of Kingdom Hearts, have you seen the Kingdom Hearts screenshot of Woody? He's he puts the arm in front.
No, the meme potential. The meme. The meme potential is through the roof. Yeah, Woody, and when Goofy is quote killed, and Michael J. Mouse has the look of mess, like he's about to go fucking scorched earth. It just goes, they'll pay for this. It's like the funniest. I could not believe what I was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's good. I still love it. I'm trying to be a better Kingdom Hearts fan, but it's a lot to swallow. A lot to take in.
Was that an amendment?
I don't know. Like, part of me wishes I never played the other games after like 1 and 2. It's like the vibes in 1 and 2 were perfect, but after like the 1, like, if I think I've made my girlfriend, who Jack knows, watch the opening of Kingdom Hearts because I needed to convince somebody. I needed to prove I wasn't crazy, that like the vibes of like the openings, like cinematic, but like the opening scenes are so. Imagine you're a 7-year-old kid. Oh, this is where I wanted to go before we got off on like the hunt tangent.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about earlier about like kids these days. I mean, kids meaning us when we were talking about the hunt stuff, but like kids these days, I feel like won't have nearly the same connection to like Disney as we did.
Yeah.
Like, don't want to speak for you, but like my parents, I was never like a super Disney kid, but we had all the VHSs. We had, I remember like old, like the Mickey shorts and Donald shorts being on TV. So like I knew who they were. I don't remember a time where I didn't know. Not that I was ever like obsessed with them, but like Kingdom Hearts, to have those characters that have been like a part of my life, and I just known them to be like the most iconic characters.
It's a golden marketing concept.
Yeah, just like to have the most ethereal, like deep for a 7-year-old. It came out on my 7th birthday, also. September 17th, 2002, North American Kingdom Hearts 1 release. It was just like perfect. Like I couldn't imagine me feeling I was watching anything more like poetic and deep, and like I was looking into like the deepest parts of the human psyche as I was listening to Goofy yucking around. Kingdom Hearts. There's no bottom to the well of deepness that it can offer you if you let it. You gotta let it in, Jack.
I'm not ready to get hurt again.
Yeah, that's okay.
As a recovering Tron fan, I'm not ready.
Tron's in Kingdom Hearts, though.
Ugh.
I think you were there when I played Kingdom Hearts 2.
I know.
And you're like,
and I was like gobsmacked.
Ooh, profiles.
This is my favorite. Like, my favorite angle of someone's face is this, like, I don't know what to call it, but it's like when someone, it's like the most abstracted, like, from the face you can get while still recognizing it has a face, but like not completely the back of the head. You know what I'm saying? Like this, like.
No, I know.
Like it's the weird contours of like the cheekbones to like the lips to the chin, and the nose, and like you can't see the eyes really. It's just I love it. Like I love that shape so much.
Yeah, I remember you. Ooh, that looks great. I remember you talking about just how like Robert Valley and like Tron or whatever just has like, yeah, we can sing Robert Valley's praises all day.
I do all day, yeah.
I remember you saying just the way he does eyes, like he doesn't, with just like lines, like very small, very squinty sometimes, still like has, people tend to like, maybe it's just because, the way cartoon eyes are drawn, it's just like
big, yeah.
Yeah, big. I forget what it's called, the white of your eye, the scalula or something. It's like we're just taught to like very expressive pupils and like very clear big eyes. But I think he is really good about like not worrying about that and instead just
and it might be the
making
human
really interesting stuff.
Absolutely, and it might be that human thing to crave what is more rare or more rarely seen. Like we like the new
This
thing.
is new and different, haven't seen that before.
But it absolutely is, like, when it comes to proportions, like with Eon Flux and Peter Chung to Robert Valley to Mobius to whatever, it's like you make the eyes smaller, I really believe, or like more spaced apart. Like it pulls me in more because it's like I now have a much more, like, I have to look a little deeper to see what's going on. Like, it's more human, it's more of a nuanced expression. I need to charge my pencil for a bit.
What else is there to chat about?
Well, I feel like this was a really good chat. It's interesting because I think what happens is we, like how normal conversations just go, is there's a lot of unresolved points because they evolve into something else. Like, it's like, there was like more, we were initially going to talk about something, but then the conversation naturally led over here, so which is always fine, and that's what I welcome here. But it's interesting because for anyone listening, they might be like, damn it, I wanted to hear more about the thing.
Episode 2.
But that's what the comments in the chat section would be for. But yeah, that honestly might be something to look into. But so from here we'll figure out our resume point. But I would say this is pretty successful. Just need to plan it a little better in terms of getting the hard drive space and whatever. And
well, this was a good test run.
In
case for the next person.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I'm completely down with like it doesn't have to be a new person every time or whatever, but like that is cool, that is fun. I mean, it just depends on the banter, but I think you and I complement each other a lot in terms of our styles and just like what we like and whatever. And like I think one thing that would be excellent to end on, even though it is a big thing we talk about a lot, but is how we come from, or like we spec'd into completely viable but very different like paths, and on top of that, within the animation and entertainment industry, but I think more cutting to the quick is how, and I don't mean this as like a type A, type B, like in the offensive way, but it's something that I think we've talked about where it's like, for me, and what I think a lot of people who get into animation are mostly like, are people who want to create worlds and narratives and stories and characters, etc. And I am very much that kind of more director, planner, character designer, builder, animator. But I have always complimented you on being the actual like machine men who actually make it a reality, because you have the gumption. You are the kind of animator who connects point A to point B. Like, here's a keyframe or here's a character drawing. You're actually going to be the one to make it move. You're actually going to be the one to draw. And that is, like, the workforce needs those people. But maybe before getting ahead of myself, what I always found very interesting about, like, I mean, look no further than our work as a whole, but our senior thesis, where I spec'd entirely into a narrative with like as limited animation as possible to complement the writing and the building, and you completely spec'd into the spectacle to push the animation form. And like, which I always kind of loved, how you were like, oh, I can't be bothered with thinking of character building and stuff like it's just like you just don't care. And I think that's incredible. Well, not that you don't care as in like you don't appreciate it, or you are incapable of understanding, or I'm not calling you a psychopath, like no, but I'm just saying, like, I'm saying that is a very rare thing, I think, in the industry that a lot of people need to consider. Not that it's like a whole like, are you a leader or are you a follower kind of thing, but like it's more about like, you know, what is your work ethic and who are you and what is your priority. And yeah, like as you even stated and we've talked about, like this is, like you said, what, your first time just drawing for shits in like forever, like because you're always drawing for work. Yeah. Like, because you have to do it for work. Like, it is your job all day. It's the last thing you kind of want to do when, like, you have free time. Whereas for me, it's like, yeah, like, I get to, I mean, yeah, everything I draw now is motivated by, like, how many views is going to get, or, like, what's the best project for me to work on right now. But I am constantly drawing for me. I can't deny that. But anyway, I just think that it's a very interesting dichotomy between us. And yeah.
I guess I'll confirm everything you said pretty much. Like our theses, I think I remember we compared ourselves before in our theses, and just like you had the longest one by far.
That means I win. I'm the best.
You win. No, but yours was a really big hit with the audience, with you know, like it, as a film, I think was like it was very successful. Just like it was very funny. It did exactly what you went out aimed it to do.
Right, but it might as well be animated on like ones, or no, sorry, it might as well be like animated on like 1 frame per second is what I meant.
Sure.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, it's like that.
You had just enough motion for people like to have the humor work, to have people stay involved. And I think that's a skill in itself, to bounce it back to you. Like, I know I struggle with, like, just because I have that desire to, like, when I want to animate something, I want to, you know, I want to make it something new and novel and try out a new technique, and I want to see it, you know, move in a new and interesting way, or just have it, you know, on twos and move every frame. And I know how to be smart to an extent. Like, I know not to overwork everything, but I think you are skilled than most people at, and you're doing it right now with this music video you're making, that we were talking about before we started recording. But you don't sacrifice, like, your, like, maybe you don't have the same desires I do, but like there's you know what the project needs, that in order for you to get it done, you know how to you know, do what the shot requires, I feel like. And you were very smart at like how you prepped and made that film. Shoot the Moon, everybody, look it up.
No, it's on my YouTube.
It's on your YouTube. It's very good.
Thanks, Betty.
Yeah, and then opposed to that, the antithesis of his film was my film, which was I think like
Don't Shoot the Moon.
Yeah,
which was
it was called
interesting.
Foot Race. And yeah, like I did focus a little bit on the story, but my I said it from the get-go, like why I was doing this thesis was to like make, you know, test my skills, but to make something I would put in a reel, to like land me a job. Because yes, like I've never had OCs, I've never really spec'd or delved into, you know, building a world or building characters or developing. I just really, really like exploring.
You're unburdened. You can get up and go. You can be anywhere. You could be anything. You're like the James Bond of animators.
I think that's why I got hired, because I'm a really good fit, and I can, like, I'm a
ego.
I mean, I guess there's a little bit of ego. Like, I know I'm good. I feel like, but then, like, I've gotten better at animating on commercial projects, but I feel like the longer I've worked, the more frustrated I am, because I've lost a lot of the experimentation, and like my draftsmanship is a lot better. Like when I was living with you in college, it's easier, like for my job, and I've said this to you before, Jack, is like things are just teed up for you. Like at my job, you know, at the beginning of a project, most times you're given the character designs, you're given the storyboards, and it's pretty much just like, at least at Hornet, you get to bring your shot from beginning to end, clean up to rough, but most of the creative thinking, and you've got a little bit of control, depending on who's the director, of like, you know, what the character does. You know, you get to use some of your creative like animator juices to like figure out how the character will move in a cool, interesting way that matches what the shot needs. But yeah, like for the longest time, I've always just like animating the characters. You know, I would just like, I get the most satisfaction out of like doing small animation tests that might not have any merit to them, no story, like no like nothing that will like attract you to them, other than it's going to be animated in an interesting way. And I think that's not like, I think I got better at making, like, I made a short on my Instagram years ago with like an astronaut that was like pulling himself back into a spaceship on a tether, and that had like, you know, part of a story to it. And my thesis, I like, the way I made my thesis was just like have a loose concept of what the film was, and basically it was like, you know, I was delving into like my history of doing track and running, and I wanted to like, what was the feeling like in a relay race where like you pass the baton and everyone runs a lap, or whatever distance. I wanted to like, what could I do with the feeling of like waiting your turn to get past the baton, and like how could I create dynamic angles of like all the like the tension and anxiety of the person waiting, but also like the people on the track, and like I could make cool angles with that. And the way I made the film was just like story, you know, do a thumbnail of as many cool ideas for like a shot, just the most crazy angles I could think of, animate the ones I thought were coolest, and then use as much time as possible. And when time came to like, you know, we don't have much time for our thesis, I just pulled together the shots that I had, and then, you know, made a semi-coherent story. A story is putting it very loosely. It's just like, you know, there's a sequence of events, like there's definitely a beginning and an end, but not much happens. And I think, yeah, I even struggle with that now, of like trying to make like an Instagram post for my work. It's like a lot of, when you're animating something to post online, it doesn't need a beginning, middle, and end. It just needs, you know, to be a compelling like piece of art. And I think that desire that maybe a lot of people have of like inserting story and development in like a 3-act mini story, you know, like here's setting the scene, here's the problem, here's, you know, here's the solution, in whatever form that takes, I think can overcomplicate, you know, just getting straight into animating. And I think that's what I was really good at. You know, I've lost some of that skill just because I've been so used to getting things teed up for me, but that's what gave me the most satisfaction. It's just like every little project I would do, I would spend a few days on it, and every project I would say, all right, this time I'm gonna like use smears in a way I've never done before, or this project I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna use this different cleanup method, and I'm gonna like really focus on key poses or whatever. And yeah, like I'm definitely a good fit for my job just because I can animate whatever's put in front of me for the most part. Like I've definitely spec'd into how to control, you know, the timing and spacing and seeing drawings as like, you know, lines and forms rather than, you know, trying to make the best designs out of them.
Like the reverse of a picky eater.
Sure. Yeah. And then I guess like job wise, we've talked about it before, but maybe for some people who are listening who haven't broken into the industry, you might be waiting for, you know, us to talk about this. But yeah, like Jack and I have gone complete opposite directions.
There is no industry.
There is no industry. Kind of. I mean, something I was going to say is like, you were talking about me being the workforce, or like being the best example for the workforce, but there's not that much like actual animation in the US. I feel like
No.
like
not.
a lot of it is just like storyboarding in LA,
Yeah.
or
you're
commercial
making
work
your
in
own
New York.
original shit. Yeah, it's mostly commercial work.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not very many like full animation studios in the US. I think maybe like the place that does Bob's Burgers, that might be Canada. I never remember.
Oh yeah, Canada is it's that's what it is.
Yeah, Canada's got Mercury, Bardell, Jamfield, all these places that do a bunch of TV shows. But it's all puppeted for the most part, animation. But yeah, Jack and I, we have definitely gone different directions. I couldn't be more proud of Jack because I feel like I'm so career oriented that, you know, I knew going to school, like, I'm aiming to get a job and I know what it takes to get a job. And I spent my time like, you know, figuring out what was the coolest fad. And like when the studio Golden Wolf and The Line were first really doing like crazy camera moves, I spent, you know, a year like trying to figure out how to do them. And I think that's like what got my foot in the door, was like that special. I think it's still, people still do it all the time, like crazy dynamic stuff. And I think it's only evolved. But yeah, like every choice I made with the art I did was all to like get a job. Meanwhile, Jack, I think you've like really developed, you've got such an interest in films and writing and all that stuff that, you know, I'm glad that you haven't, if you feel the pressure, I don't know, I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like you haven't given in to like, I need, you know, you have taken storyboard jobs, you've done stuff for Adult Swim, but you don't, for the longest time, you gave yourself, you know, space to develop your own work. And work has just come to you. And I think it's like not only well deserved, but I feel like,
thank you. Yeah.
No, I think it's the most fulfilling way to go about it. Not that I'm not fulfilled with me having the job I got, but I think you got the job for the best reason, is like, you know, the work you like to make, as you always say, like you want to do the job, making the art you want to make. And I feel like, you know,
I mean, for
you're
me,
definitely
sorry,
going in the right direction. No, I'm done.
No, thank you very, very much. That's it. You're never getting a kind word out of me.
I know, that's it.
Yeah,
I've spent them all.
That's very kind of you. I mean, yeah, like for me, I mean, I've just had. I mean, I've always used this as my justification, but there comes a certain point where, you know, you just are the sum of your parts at a certain point, and it's just like, I was gonna say that, you know, I had a turbulent medical history growing up, and I realized that I just didn't want to waste time, and that gave me this kind of chip on my shoulder, artist integrity, you know, loud Mediterranean, like, you know, I will not compromise, like kind of thing, that I have been very lucky enough. I mean, like, yeah, I poured a long time into just drawing. Like, drawing was my escape, like how many of us did. And it's like, I obviously earned it. And there was a long time where I felt like I had imposter syndrome because I was getting more notice than my peers. But I always felt guilty and weird about that. And that might just be like a carryover Catholic guilt thing or whatever. But like, I definitely, I don't know. I just, it's this weird thing where it's like, I know exactly what I want, and I have a drive and a passion for it, but it's not, I don't know. It's like, I kind of weirdly hate like the spotlight, in the sense of like the attention of like, oh, you're so talented. Like that always like eked me a little, because I'm just like, well, I just spec'd entirely into this. I can't do anything else. Like it's like, I mean, I appreciate it, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's that like uncomfortable thing of, you know, like accepting praise or having, you know, like any, I don't know, that's always alive and well for with me and my upbringing, and like taking a compliment is a weird thing for me. But
it's funny for me, not to sing my own praises, but I think maybe we've talked about this before. In high school, I was a really, really good track runner, and I was also like, I was in the top of my class. So people would like, you know, compliment me all the time of like, oh, you're the best of both worlds, whatever, like you're the fastest, whatever.
Oh, Ty, you're so hot.
Not hot. I didn't get that a lot. But
I'm building a time machine and going scorched earth.
But I feel like that I had to like put up not a wall, but like I just said thanks, and like I got used to not I can't think of the right word, deferring it or deflecting it, but just like I got used to people complimenting me. But I don't shy away from it anymore. But I definitely like feel like I got more cold to it. Like I just don't. I take it at face value and I appreciate it. But if anything, I feel like the only reason I guess don't like it is I feel like it makes me. It takes away, I guess, the desire to keep improving. Like, oh, like even like only in my head, like not consciously, but like, oh, it's all done, or this piece, like showing someone a work in progress, and they're like, this is amazing.
You know what?
And then
you
like,
just made me realize.
What?
No, this is it's a joke and it's a meme, but I wonder if there's any truth to it. Where do you remember Super Mario Kart 64? Did you play Mario Kart 64?
I never had a 64, but I played it.
Did you ever win as Toad or see Toad win?
I can't remember.
My brother played as Toad because he's the fastest character in the game, and my brother, who's much older than me, like, you know, he would kick my ass in games, which made me better at games. But I remember he would always win as Toad. And what did Toad do when he won? He always went, I'm the best! And he just like, it was like this little fucking little shit. And I think there's just...
Wait, what did he say? I didn't hear the sound.
Oh, sorry, did the audio cut out? He said, I'm the best. He was like, I'm the best! Like in this like little shit-eating voice. And maybe that's where it comes from, of like this hating or resenting or just not being comfortable with, like, I don't know, like people who boast, I guess, like or like rudeness or whatever, which ironically is my name, Rude Jack Art. But yeah, it's something that I don't have a tolerance for or whatever, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. I really don't know what I'm trying to say. This has been I let us off path.
That's okay. It's tough to like navigate. Well, now we are off path because now we're saying like how to respond to us people saying we're good, and when you know we're only
you just gotta
we're not masters at our craft. You know, we're aware of like the time we put in. We know we're proficient in what we're trying to do, and I think once you get to that point, you know, like we just don't want to waste time. There's no reason.
I do not suffer fools. Yeah, like I'm very much like, yeah, let's come on. Let's
and that being said, like I'm making pretty crappy drawings right now. Like,
well, this isn't. I mean, this is just
there's no
fucking around.
No, this isn't our best. Yeah, this isn't like our best work, but yeah, whatever. But
no, that's the whole point of this. I wanted a place for me and my friends, or my friends and I. Sorry if my English major father is listening. To just stick around, just have fun, just vent. Because I feel like so often we're on all the time, truncating our life experience down to like one thing for like an interview or something. So,
yeah.
No, but this has been really fun, especially like just drawing. Every fucking character I've drawn has been like either seducing or like creeping on your drawings.
Yeah,
like...
very similar to real life.
Yes,
I don't know if
is.
I like it.
Well, I think it's fun.
Jack, sexual.
No.
Kidding.
Stop
kidding.
it.
No, I haven't touched your drawings. I should. I'll do this one. I know, I really love this elongated head. This one's my favorite. of yours.
Which one?
The long one, right to the right of where you're drawing right now. What can I do to it?
Elongated.
Um,
Right. Oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah, the really tall guy.
Yeah, this very Roman looking douchebag.
Let's see.
I mean, I think. Well, I mean, our brains are trained to react to faces, but I think anything that hints at intimacy or like yearning in the brows or whatever, like that, I think that like makes people stop and look. You just get sucked into it, you know.
Hmm.
What is this fucking weird superhero thin guy right next to him?
Where?
Like, is this
I don't
this-
know. A lot of my doodles just start with me like moving my wrist and like getting some cool lines going, and then I kind of see it make something, and then I just make it into something.
Well, I did draw like this little bird man on his phone, scared of your weird guy.
Mm.
Help.
Yeah, it's like a little superhero. He's got, I think I added like a bike helmet to him. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, he's a superhero?
I don't know.
He looks like
Bike
evil.
man! Oh yeah,
Yeah.
evil villain. He's got a scar on his eye. Now he's evil.
That's right. Kids,
Doofenshmirtz.
if you see anyone with a scar, report them immediately.
I'll add a Kingdom Hearts Organization 13 coat to him. Now he's really evil.
Yeah, there's something really fun about drawing some like intimate character like across from yours. That is fun.
Because mine are so innocent.
Yeah, this recent one I drew, he looks like Elvis. He's about to like lock lips with your
Oh yeah,
little.
I see it.
Yeah.
Just needs like the pompadour or whatever. It's a bad pompadour. I'm gonna let you do it.
Yeah,
I always had a
that's
mustache.
right. That's right. Stand the fuck aside.
I know. I
Elvis doesn't have a
doodled
mustache.
more on my own. I'd have a better like control over my lines like I used to.
There's
Not that I was
no-
ever
Yeah.
super great. No, I'm not frustrated. I'm just reminiscing about the old days where I was like my hand would do what I want, and I was just like drawing more. Or my hand does what I want, but I think it's like those three creative things, like I was talking about before. I feel like my reference knowledge, I draw the same muscle memory stuff. Is that a Kermie?
Yeah, you drew a pig.
Oh, Kermie. Shoot. I forget what else I was gonna say. Boop boop boop. Yeah, I guess.
Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. I guess I was gonna put a closing thought on the job thing, like in the specking the skills.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know where I was going with
And
it.
to make it clear to everyone, I've taken, well, I took a risk, but I'm also immunocompromised, so it's like there's a lot of moving to places and things that I felt were off the table, because right now I live in a place that is very medically sound and good for me, and I just completely went into the freelance route. But that doesn't mean, like, I work very little of the time. It's when I get a gig, I'm grateful and it pays off. But the risk that I take is that I do treat it like a full-time job, but I do, as you can see on my Instagram, but like, I just make stuff and I just keep making stuff. And it's basically, if you build it, they will come mentality, where that has been successful for me, where people have noticed it and liked it, and I'm so fucking grateful that people do. and appreciate it, and that's what leads me to getting gigs. And yeah, that's where I can feel sometimes that imposter syndrome, and I'm not saying that it is like the way on the ladder. If you want to make a show, if you want to work in the industry, there is no set way. What Ty and I are just talking about it's very interesting how we have spec'd into different things and have achieved, I would say, like, for not being out of school a horribly long time, like a pretty good turnaround. Yeah, so that's just what we're reminiscing about. It's not boasting, it's not anything else. It's just brutal honesty and reflecting on where we are now.
Yeah,
And,
where we're at,
yeah.
how we got there, like how it happened.
Yeah.
And just like moving forward, just like being aware of what we're doing, where it's gonna go. Yeah, and ragging on each other all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And putting gosh darn lips next to my lips.
It's just really funny.
I'm gonna look into your eyes. Fine, I'll try and draw seductive eyes. See how you like it.
That's all I ever wanted. What is the plane of that face?
It doesn't matter.
None of this matters.
Got the eye weird. I didn't want to make it the same exact thing.
Yeah, no, it is that thing where it's like it goes like a little cross-eyed. You don't realize it when you're that close to someone. Let's act it out. So we can get it. Yeah. That's another animation tip, act it out. Anyway.
For the longest time, and I don't know if this is true, but I feel like in TV shows and movies, live action, anything, I feel like in order to get like the eye lines right, like when you're doing a dialogue and you're like shooting the camera over someone's shoulder, and you see like someone's face talking to, and you're seeing the back of the other person's face. Do you think, for the longest time, I thought they have to like get the person not to look at the other person directly in the eyes, but like somewhere else?
Yeah, there is cheating to it. Yeah,
Okay.
Especially depending on the lens they use. Because when I was acting and shooting in one of Ethan's film projects, we had to cheat the camera a lot, like cheat the eye line. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, because there are just some shots, like if we wanted like a really like wide lens to get everything in it, or it's like, yeah, the illusion that has to be upkept is all in the planning out of the shots and the eye lines and all that. And yeah. So yes, short answer. Yeah.
Okay, good. I thought I was going crazy. Not going crazy, but like I had no confirmation, but I was sure that they did it. But they do it well, so it's hard to see. Do do do. Boo, boo, do.
Anyway, do you have anything final to say to
the masses? Stretch. Make sure you stretch. Drink water.
Go outside to get inspired. Go do anything else before drawing.
Yeah. Take some quiet time. Make sure you're not like throughout the day 100% always consuming content. Observe outside your screens. Make sure to have like quiet time so like your eyes and ears can still like pick up new things. I need that. I need like digital reset time, and like I run a bunch, so that helps. But even then, like I still need like a reminder of like inspiration exists out of my screen. Yeah, that's my closing remarks to the viewers. And thanks for listening. If you got this far, I think this is the longest I've ever talked in a long time. I'll lose my voice. Oh, I'm gonna draw me right next to Jack. I don't know what I look like.
Yes, good start. That is what an alien in human skin would say.
Yes, this is perfectly me. Now I'm off the deep end. We're just making it bad.
That's good.
Yes.
Oh god.
I always forget what my ears look like. They've got like, I think they go out in the middle.
Oh, here's a final question that I think is actually great to talk about and
What?
interesting to observe is, do you think someone psychologically, based on how they look, affects how they draw?
Psychologically?
Like,
I
you
feel like-
know how you look.
Oh,
The
Yeah.
features you tend to draw tend to be those that might mirror your own visage or your face or whatever. Like the shapes you choose, where you choose to put the lines for detail. Like it's something interesting that I've thought about.
I don't think it's the same with everyone, but I think it can be. I think
Yeah.
it, like, I know, like, when I see a lot of your drawings, maybe just because I know you and we're friends, but I feel like I see you in a
Yeah.
lot of your drawings.
Yeah.
But
The
also, I feel like
caveman
you
brow.
contort. Yeah, but I feel like your personality making your distorted, crazy faces, I think that's just not your normal face all the time, but I think it matches your drawings. So I think it's somewhere in between. But like,
Thanks.
I feel like maybe my default like eyes and faces I make are close to mine, and like my brow
you
structure.
do have softer features.
Yeah, and I think
I'd
just the way
say-
I've learned to like draw, 3/4 views, the way like I think about like the brow line matches
Right.
mine, or like
Yeah.
the nose ridge is because that's how I learned how to do it, by looking at me.
But I would say not to evaluate your body and face on pay per view.
Tear it up.
Oh yeah, tear up my body. I would say that your features are softer and round, and like the way you draw is like you're a lot looser. You go for circles more, whereas I tend to go more for squares and like triangle, like angular stuff. Not that it's like like I copyright this, but it's like
Yeah, whatever.
it definitely is an interesting thing where I've seen when I think about my peers, like their style, there's something that matches kind of their features in a way. Like I don't know, just or the brushes they use. I might be blowing smoke, but I do think there is an interesting exercise there. Just have to find a way to, I don't know,
Yeah, for sure.
cultivate it.
No, I think you're onto something, and yeah, I mean the easiest way to put it is like, if you draw from reference at all by using yourself, you draw what you know, and you, even though it's hard sometimes to get your own likeness because you know so well what you look like, I feel like you're subconsciously still taking reference from like your hands, your body, your whatever.
Yeah, because that's what you have to look at.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look. Yeah.
I know. When was the last time you did, like, you tried hard to do like a good, realistic one-to-one self-portrait of yourself? Have you ever done one?
I think maybe when I took like an art class at community college before mass art, and then I think maybe once at mass art, but I don't know. I kind of lucked out in caricature because I think my features are so applicable to. I mean, this sounds fucking weird because I'm not trying to call myself, like. I didn't grow up thinking I was handsome at all. I was like a very like awkward, like chubby kid, like in high school. Like I didn't even out until like college, so I didn't have that experience of like confidence growing up. But now it's because I have the features that maybe modeling in Hollywood would deem, like I have like a strong jawline, cheekbones, like a brow,
You
But
do.
you
You do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still like a weirdly shaped twig man, but yeah, like that has led for me to profit off of, in the sense that like anything I reference, or like look at any old like pulp comics or whatever, and it's like it's a what's it like, yeah, like the Scott McCloud thing of like how you draw faces, like
Yeah.
when
Understanding comics.
right, like, and how you can draw a face, like two dots and a line can be a face, or a square draw like a straight nose and a strong brow is like what 80% of Hollywood leading men. So it's like that's why it's like you could look at a Marvel comic and be like, who do we cast for Captain America? It's like, okay, here's thousands of like actors who could apply. Whereas, you know, like, I mean, that's why, you know, like I myself like to get finicky and whatever. But when a comic artist takes the time to draw and build a character a certain way, it can get under my skin and irk me if the casting just seems wrong or weird, or like it's placating to appeal to the masses, or like we need a celebrity in here, like the whole Christopher Reeves Superman. I know you're not like a big, like, you know, versed Superman comic book movie kind of guy, but the Christopher Reeves Superman movies, like, they went with a relatively unknown, and it makes it so much more powerful. Not that that's always the way to go, but he just became the character in such a way that like there was nothing distracting. It's like when I watch that movie, I am looking at Superman. I'm not looking at, you know, Michael Keaton playing Batman, or whatever. Even though, yeah, Michael Keaton does a great job, and I'm not here to debate comic book stuff or whatever. But the point I'm getting back to is my features are just very broadly easy, like to draw something very simple and get my likeness right. Whereas some other people, and it's a good challenge, like it's like harder. Like if someone has like a very defining feature, like a certain nose shape or whatever, then it's like, okay, you win. You just base everything around that. You can get away with the eyes looking off and whatever, like, because people are, you know, their forgiveness internal mechanism is going to just account for it. But yeah, for me, it's like, I mean, you know, like how I'm like, I'll draw it like right under here, but that's why like almost all my drawings open with like just this shape, like this is me. It's just, and then you there it is. It's nothing. It's Samurai Jack, like, no pun intended. But yeah, even when I draw, like, you know, my characters, I'm putting it down here, but like, yeah, like with one of the postmen, you know, just like a mailbox for a head, but I'm like, okay, all you need to emote is the brow. And you know, I've gotten so much out of that, where it's like, you know, here's like an eyebrow raise and like confusion, but it's like just a Z or something. Like, it's just boiling it down to like nothing. Or like, you know, sorrow. Like, all you need is a brow. If I could have one feature to represent the face, I'd want the brow, not the mouth, honestly. Like, the brow, I think, is more important. And yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah, that's just where I come from. But yeah, yeah, I mean, we were just talking about caricature, but anyway, yeah, that was my way of deflecting another would-be compliment or whatever. Where it's just, I'm like, yeah, like, well, let me just overanalyze it to shit. But yeah, like, it's, I have stronger lines. I do have a nose from my side profile is very different, where it's like I have the weird kind of nose where, like, from straight on, it looks like a quote unquote like normal, just kind of cone shaped nose. But from the side, I have that very, I mean, you got it right in your flattering doodle of me, but it is that, it's like that hawk shaped beak kind of thing where it comes down, you know, like a very Arabic Mediterranean kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But that chin though, that jaw.
My chin, yeah. Well, my chin does not go out that far. My chin actually is very
No.
least. And when it's jaw, it's like it's funny. I expect to be talking about myself like it, but like just
We don't have to.
But anyway, I think it's more. Yeah, it's more of the squared part of the jaw behind the ear than it is like the chin jutting out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like that's just because I know my face better than anyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
For
goody.
sure.
There it is. Ugh, I look like evil Glover.
Evil.
Oh, I want to make a Muppet of you so bad that looks like this fucking. Like that is just such a perfect.
Scary.
Sex now.
Yikes. That sounds like a commercial for something. Sex now.
Now that we have your attention, vote for Ty.
Vote for me. That'll be my campaign slogan.
Yeah, I think your
Sex
Rayman
now.
sniffing ass is my favorite thing. Your weird fucking Rayman. He looks like Snively. Have you ever watched the Sonic Adventure? Or no, the Adventures. Or no, wait, not even the. Fuck. Reset. The Sonic Saturday AM show, as it has been dubbed.
I think so.
One of the best.
Is that
It was
one
on JetX. It was like the one where like Robotnik had won. It was
Yeah.
like terrifying. He had a right hand goon called Snively, and he looked just like your Rayman. He was just like, oh yes, I'm Snively.
I have to see a picture.
Yeah, he's just a
I
little,
I must have, but maybe I don't remember Snipply.
very, very much these nose shapes. But yeah, well, I know it is antithetical to the stream of consciousness of our podcast to never really have an end, but how do you want to end this?
Let's do a drawing together, one line at a time, as we recount the first impression we had of each other.
All right, where?
I guess in this bottom corner.
Okay, you start.
All right. Me?
Yes, you.
There's we go. Do you see my little line? Jack and I met in our character animation class with Flip, and I thought he was very cool because he had his shaven down sides and the side of his head, and I really loved. I think you made it clear in class
What the
that
hell are you drawing?
I don't know. You got to draw through sometimes.
Yeah.
You made it very clear in class that you were an illustrator, but and you're very I can't think of the word, but I don't know. Like you never talked up your work, but your work always had such a fun. I remember one thing you did is a tiny little stick figure throwing up this huge box, and I just thought it was so funny and so different.
I'm trying to remember this.
I don't know. Yeah. No, I just thought. I don't know. Your work was very unique. You wouldn't know it just by talking to you. There was no ego that I felt.
That's
It
good.
was very sleek, very cool.
I think I
And
just.
meanwhile,
My biggest fear was coming off as arrogant when it was just do the work. It's just for me, it's I came from the background of I'm spending a lot of money to be here. I get it that a lot of people, myself included, didn't know there was a choice to not even go to college. It was just forced where it's you are going to. What are you drawing? It's funny because you have an image of something and I have an image of something and it's just totally not.
I have not
same.
tried to make anything
okay.
coherent yet.
Okay, great. But anyway, yeah, for me it's like I knew coming out of this that a piece of paper with my name on it would not get me a job, and it's just like I have to, like, no more bullshit. It's like I don't have the time to wait. Like, I'm here for a reason. It's just how I try to carry myself, and I'm always afraid of coming off as, like, you know, teacher's pet know-it-all slash, you know, fucking
No.
like I was always afraid of being of my goodness, not goodness, but like my work just burying someone who obviously was struggling or was turning in something that they weren't happy with, and then like I just come up and like plug in, you know, my flash drive. I'm like, fucking loser. Like I was always afraid of that, and so anytime attention was drawn to me, that's what I was saying earlier about like taking a compliment. I was like, I feel really weird about this. Like like it still feels like there's a high school air about it. Like I'm like, we're here. Yeah, it's like, because I was like, high school's behind me. Like adult time is now, but you can't shake that shit. But yeah,
it's weird. Well, it was tough because like before, well, it's weird to I feel like you shouldn't have to feel embarrassed to be trying your hardest.
Yeah.
When everyone else should also be like.
That's what Dan Rowe told me. Yeah.
Yeah, people. And that was one of the animation teachers at Mass Art. But I feel like, you know, you should work and take critique with the expectation or with the assumption that like everyone else is trying their hardest. But it sucks to like, you know, obviously come in at different levels of skill, you know, at different techniques, different programs, whatever. And it was tough for me too, because like taking classes at you know, Tufts, where a lot of it, like I would take art classes in classes that were mostly like academic students, and this was well, there's no right or wrong, because some like academic students were a lot better painters than I ever was. So it was a mix of like, these people aren't trying, these people are trying, they're like getting their masters in chemistry and they're way better painter than I am. So I think I just shut up and tried to do my best and didn't really think about what other people were doing, while still like critiquing them as much as I could. But yeah, it's tough. But yeah, I had the same. It's tough. But I had the similar mentality. Like I talked about it before, like very career oriented, and like,
being afraid of standing out.
Yeah.
But like not being afraid of standing out when getting hired, but being afraid of standing out when in a like communal, like a school setting, I guess.
Yeah. Do you look back at Mass Art and wish you did anything differently? That's a big one.
Because I believe as long as you haven't like completely like given up, you are the sum of your parts. You bring your whole life with you wherever you go. And at that time, every decision I made was the amalgamation of all the forces acting on me and through me to do whatever I thought was the best move. And I still feel that way. And it's not like I'm saying this like, oh, go do a crime, be atrocitus, and have no regrets. I'm just saying everything I've made at every step of the way, you know, I don't really live with that, because it's like, it's what I want to do. I want to stay inside and play fucking, you know, Metroid for like a day. It's like, yeah, like, do I feel like I wasted the day at the end of it? Maybe a little, but at the time, it's exactly what I wanted to do. But do I regret it? No. The only thing I think I maybe have weirdly regretted or whatever was, I wish I did a better Annie 4. I never uploaded that or showed that anywhere because it was dog shit. because I was trying to do something big and cinematic, as I always yearn to do, but I wish I really took more to heart. Again, even though it's not, I'm more narrative based and whatever, I've come to embrace it after college, which is make something short that kicks ass. But I always remember Dan Rose saying, like, how come no one made a thesis that was 30 seconds long that fucking owned, like, and that, like, we couldn't work together. We could work together. There was no rule against it, but it was not, like, advertised. I didn't find that out till later. I'm proud of Shoot the Moon still. I look at it and I want to touch it up. I want to redo it because I'm just OCD and antsy that way. But I'm proud of Shoot the Moon probably the most because I made it with other people involved, helping and contributing, and to see them laugh and strangers love it, and to see how happy they were. Like the fact that I could bring like Ethan's writing to life, or Pasto's joke in there, or use Cody's outline and input from Chris and everyone else. That is why it is a cherished thing. But if I did it alone and I was looking at it, I'd fucking hate it. Because I hate anything I look at, like, because you grow from there. So I sound like a hypocrite because I'm like, I don't regret anything I did. But when it comes to art, and I'm like, I've grown since then, I'm like, oh, this is awful. Like, I want it. Sure, I know exactly what I would change. But yeah, I don't think I regret anything. How about you?
I don't think so either. I mean, like, everything, same with you. Everything I did, I think was the best decision I could have made in the moment. I think I could have been, like, more graceful about, like, I went to an academic school, but I always wanted to be at somewhere else. But I went because I got a lot of financial aid, was what it came down to. So I knew from the get-go, it's like,
yeah, me too. Yeah.
I'm going to have to deal with this because it's going to benefit me in the long run. I'm not going to be in debt. And I think I got into the mindset of, like, yes, I'm wasting my time, but in reality, like, I'm not wasting my time, but I'm doing a lot of things I don't want to do because it'll benefit me. And I think it was like a catch-22 when I finally stopped thinking that way, because I do feel like the time I spent on the Tufts campus doing an academic degree, still, like, doing work. Obviously I got a degree in art history, and I've never thought about art history once since I graduated, but I don't know, there was, like, a work ethic involved that basically what I'm trying to say is I feel like now more than ever, I feel like I don't let things waste my time, or I'm very defensive about my time.
That comes with age. That comes with age.
Maybe it's true. But at that point, I was just like, I just tried my hardest at everything I could, and like, to an extent, but I look back now knowing it wasn't wasted time, like going between two schools and doing all this stuff, and I feel like I didn't decide or figure out what was, like, super important to me, or what like, I really liked being at Mass Art with other artists, and I had friends at Tufts too, but
and I was gonna say
I was definitely sacrificing things at the detriment of, like, what I was trying to get at, getting better at art. So I guess if I wanted to change anything differently, I think I would have come to the conclusion sooner that, I wasn't going to quit school, but I needed to just make a change.
I
think I, like, moved in with David Onaker, and that was the beginning of that.
And David is now fucking a YouTube
goat.
Holy shit,
The Doodly.
Shout out to Doodly.
We'll link it in the subscription. Not the description, just be the description.
I won't, because I'm petty and all the views are mine. Mine, I say. But anyway.
I'll draw it. YouTube.com.
You sick son of a bitch. I won't zoom in on it.
YouTube.com / I think it's just Doodly. Just look up Doodly.
Yeah, just draw them. We went to school with David.
Yep, David. Oh shoot, maybe he doesn't want his full. No, his full name's on Twitter, I think. I don't know. Don't dox David. Yeah, David.
Would you like a shovel to dig the hole?
No, he's one of the most self-taught people I know who's really just he can go to zero knowledge of something, saying he wants to do something, and he taught himself Unity because he just had a fun joke game idea, and then he taught himself 3D rigging and animation to make a thesis, and it kicked ass.
Yeah, what does he look like? He looks like
that's Mel's version of him. Oh, that's his avatar. Yeah, totally. And then he's got the 3D girl, Gimberly.
All right, let's finish our drawing about us.
Oh yeah, no more David.
Well, I just wanted to say that, to your point of do you regret stuff? It's college and those years that I think not enough people realize is that it's the same as a sketchbook in the sense that this is where you go to get all the shit out of your system, to get to learn what you want to do, but not you're instantly going to have it when you walk in, which I think is the problem that a lot of people, we just happen to do that as communal creatures, in the sense that it is a competition in whatever arena we're in, a party, a job, a school, there is competition happening, even if it's subtle. But that's the thing where it's egos, if someone tears you apart at critique and if they're right, that's great. You should thank them for helping you see that sooner. That's the thing. That's what it's for. It's for getting the shit out. If you make a single good thing in college that you are still going to be proud of 5 years later, that is rare. It's where you go to just hone the skill and learn through elimination, which is what I like to do when I think of what do I want to eat. I don't think about what I want to eat. I think about what I absolutely would not want in this moment. And it helps me a lot more. Same with school. I took graphic or motion graphics. Had a great teacher, very chill guy. Dylan, if you're listening, fucking despised it. I was I would never want to do this for a living. I will do anything else. And so boom, that's something gone. 3D stuff, really cool. I don't have the brain for it or the time, but I'm willing to collaborate with others for it or something. Stop motion, really dig it. I could see myself doing something in there, but again, not my strength. I'm an illustrator first. Storyboarding, the perfect fit. I get to direct and plan shit out. It's perfect. It brings my love of comics. It was a process of elimination. So that's what the college experience is for. It's for that shit. Don't be precious about fucking anything you make. And it's who you meet. That's what it's for. It is a ground to meet people. Because, after college and stuff, it's being an adult comes down to logistics. And logistically, how many more opportunities are you going to have to meet complete strangers who will become very near and dear to you? You have work and maybe a club or something you're in, or some other activity, the gym possibly, I don't know, but it's just sports, dance. But I'm just saying, that's the, not that gun to your head, the pressure's on, but that's what was more valuable, I think, across the board, more than maybe individuals got out of their art education from it. It's that's what the reason to go for the people. Maybe. Definitely. I don't know.
I mean, it's a big part of it. I don't think maybe it's not the reason you go, but it's, we could talk an hour about how you can educate yourself online these days with art and stuff, but I was surprised, that's always something you think about, or I thought about going into college, and I Jack and I keep in touch. I keep in touch with a handful of people, but I was surprised how how long we've lasted.
No,
surprise. Not surprised, but I don't know. pleasantly, you know, like my dad, he told me like my dad was also like in a frat, which is not my cup of tea, and like he roomed with his frat brother, and his frat brother is still one of his best friends, and I was just like, really, like, where's the growth? Like, not that I don't believe in like
No,
good friendships, but
I completely get you. Yeah.
but I wasn't. I'm definitely not the person to
Well,
like
I'm
let
stubborn.
my space define how I'm going to like live my life,
Yeah.
and I didn't, and I so I was surprised that I was really happy to like stick with the people I met there, and it was just a good crowd. Like if it wasn't good people, like I'm not gonna, you know, I'll pleasantly keep in touch, but I'm not gonna go out of my way. I think, but everyone at Mass Art was really pleasant for the most part.
Yeah.
Really pleasant, really driven. You know, it was a good crowd for sure.
Mass Art, if you want to pay us royalties,
yeah, hey,
yeah, this can't all be for nothing.
mhm.
Anyway, finish our weird, or is our weird us getting sucked into each other thing done?
Yeah, it can be done.
Oh,
This one's me
yes,
looking at you.
it's a circle. Well, anyway, what did I think of Ty when I thought you were... Honestly, I thought you were probably the most talented animator in the room. And I don't think I'm the only one who thought that. Yeah, well, you also had a head start. You were doing stuff like when you were like 15, 14?
Yeah, I think I got I got Flash from a family friend at like what? My first Newgrounds thing was like what, 2009? So I was like 13 when I first like downloaded Flash.
Like I was just watching.
Yeah,
like
I had a head
like
start.
I hadn't even like fathomed that human beings like could do this. Like I thought they were just like, you know, gifts that came out of nowhere. Like, you know, so yeah, it's like I was going to school too to like, because I was like, oh, I'll be an illustrator, and the animation epiphany hit me at the end of the year. So yeah, like I didn't even, but so cheat, get ahead any way you can, get a head start. You wanna, that's the advice. The nose is a heart.
Yeah. It says
This is kind of disturbing.
uh,
I think it's because my eyes like fucking bulging. Yeah, this looks like Picasso dying and drawing like his friend. Like,
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Well, on that note, this has been incredible. I'm gonna end it by zooming in on your Rayman again. It's the best.
Sniff it up.
Sniff it up. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.